everybody. Thank you so much for coming to another episode of Fear and Spirits. Today, we bring you a really, really special episode because I have a really, really special guest, one of the most creative and most hustler people I know, my friend Evon.
Hello.
And if you could please tell us if you have any special projects going on, if you have anything that you would like to share with the people. I know you have your business, so if you would like to share your socials so that people can find you and they can follow you, and
Not yet. I'm working on that. But yes,
she's really good, guys. She's really
do
good.
sublimation. I mean, I like for people to test me and my creativity and do it, and I'm like, wow, I did that. Okay, so now I got that under my belt. So yes, I do sublimation and vinyl, tumblers and other love crafts. I do stuff for like the cemetery arrangements, and stuff like that. Like, I love all crafts, so I do a little bit of everything. Hands-on stuff, it don't matter. Men's stuff, I don't care. I like doing it.
No, she's really good.
I like to get my hands dirty.
Really good. She's made several shirts for our staff events, and they're really, really good. Just if you want to share your Instagram so people can follow you, and maybe if they have a request and you think you can take on the challenge.
I don't have an Instagram yet. I know, that's something I gotta work on.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Yes. And if we do, we'll post it on the comments below.
Yes.
But so with the experience of every single episode, I like to add on a spirit. So the spirit of tonight is cranberry vodka.
Yeah.
Yay! Cheers! So would you consider yourself someone who gets scared easily, or do you not get scared at all? Are you not scaredy?
Really,
I guess
it just depends. Like, if my kids scare me, yes, I get scared. But not too much of, like, spiritually, like with you want to call it ghosts. Like, no, I don't, like, because I grew up around stuff like that. Kind of normal.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay.
Eventually, yes.
So no, not really.
Not really. Well, I'm kind of the same way on the outside, but like in the inside, I could be going through like something scary, and I'm like, oh my god. Yes. But on the outside, I'm like. Like, exactly. I tried to be calm, but I'm really dying.
So I get that, yes.
I'll still go in the dark room, but I'm dying.
Yes, I get that.
So so you know what we're here for? We're here to tell scary stories, personal scary story experiences, or paranormal experiences, I might add. So whatever you feel more comfortable with starting with, if you could go chronologically, like in your life, or whichever story comes to mind first. Okay, the floor is yours.
Okay, so as a kid, the house I grew up in, not in San Antonio, in Amarillo, Texas, and I remember a few things happening because as my older sister would play the Ouija board and stuff like that, so I'm guessing that's where it came from. Like, she invited whatever was there, or I don't know what's happened in the house before we got there, but yes, I remember as a kid experiencing stuff, seeing stuff, different things like the TV turning off, and like, oh no, it's just the TV. The TV just, I don't know what, TVs don't just do that, just turn off by themselves. Yeah. But yeah, then my oldest sister would tell me that, I never seen that for myself, but would tell me that she would get mad at my dad and she'd make herself see-through, but he could see her, but she'd make herself like that because she used to do what is it, the ESP?
Yeah, ESP.
And she used to do all that stuff. So, and she goes, yeah, like I stood right there and I made myself see-through, and he got scared. And I'm like, what? No way. But I'm like, I don't know what kind of stories to believe on that one, but I did want to show you the house, so before I get into everything else, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like, what it looks like today.
Yeah, if you can send us a picture, we'll post a little thing on the side so that people can see it.
Like, I think it's been it's been about 4 or 5 years that my mom and my parents didn't own it. So someone else bought it but hasn't done nothing to it. So I'm like wondering, like, why not? Like, I want to know, like, is something wrong with that? Did they see something wrong with the house? Like, and So this is what it looks like today. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
So it's a little ran down. So, but
yeah, I mean, because it
doesn't look like it's very
much
inviting.
lifted. It doesn't look like it's been lifted. So for the people that are just listening to us in a podcast pace, this looks like a regular 70s American home. You know, white shingles, wide windows, single floor. You know, long 70s type of house.
2-story,
right?
yes.
It's a 2-story, yes. But yeah, it looks like a 70s, you know, older home. And you would never think, like, I would never think that was
you just never
haunted.
know, like, no matter what the houses are, it could look new. Like, you don't know what's happened in those houses before.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
So I don't know what happened previously before we ever moved in there. But it was built in 1953. So I'm sure it has a past, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't even remember. I think when I was a year old, I think that's when they moved in there. So I'm 44. So yeah, 43 years they've been in there. So they were in there. But let's see. But the main area that I had issues with is, I believe, kind of the living room, dining room, upstairs kind of area, which they did turn into the living room we had. They split it in half and put it a living room and dining room. And then what was the kitchen, they turned into, I don't know, it's just an extra room. But then you go upstairs, and underneath there's a room underneath the stairway, open room. And you go upstairs, and I had 2 bedrooms up there. And just the presence of walking into where the old kitchen was is just like, yeah, you really don't want to go in there by yourself. You just feel the presence
like
in there.
heavy.
Yes, even when, I think it was like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I went to try to clean it out, get the tenants out, clean it up, and whatever. And I still, like, daylight, I told my kids, like, go with me, because I do not want to go in there. Like, I could feel it's still ugly, you know, no matter what. And I didn't want to go in there. I was like, yeah, I could just feel the presence still, like.
Yeah.
And the last tenants that were in there, she was like, I will not go in that half of the house. She goes,
even other people were telling you.
Yes, the other tenant, she goes, no, I won't go in there. She mentioned something about kids. Something about swings and kids. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like,
yeah.
Wait, what? And then she mentioned something about finding a book. And I'm like, no way. Like, where was the book at?
Oh my God.
And then in the closet, there was a little hole in the closet, like it was made that way. So I don't know if, like, you could stuff it up even higher, and we didn't find that.
It was like in a crack somewhere.
Yeah, like, I mean, because like in the between where that little hole is at, you could still go in between the wall. Mm-hmm. She was like, yeah, we found a book, and it mentioned something about Sally. Which Sally was...
That's not creepy.
Sally was the ghost name that was of the house that I guess my sister named her. For I don't know what reason. Where she got the name from, I don't know. I don't know who Sally was. It was just Sally. That's all we called her, was Sally.
Yeah.
And then something happened. Oh, it was just Sally. And I'm like, it was just normal. And then, so she mentioned something about in the book, it was Sally. And I'm like, and I don't recall what other stuff she read in there, but I'm like, I would so want to see that book. I don't know where it came from, who wrote it or what, but yeah, she said she felt the ugly presence and stuff. But
oh my God.
Growing up though, I recall like the TV's turning off and stuff like that, but
just a lot of activity in the house.
Yes, and just like even being in the room by yourself. Like I remember being as a kid, like I'd sleep on the couch, no problem, but even later as I grew up, there was things that would happen, and I'm like, and I'd have friends that would stay over, and even my friend today, like she's like, yeah, you remember you let me sleep upstairs by myself, and I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't know why I did, but I'm so sorry.
Do you remember any stories of what they would say that would happen, or like they would see
Not
something?
That one, but she's like, well, no, I don't recall what she said. I know she probably has a story, but my other friend that would stay up there, she said she was asleep one day, and you know, she had the shorts on, she had like a t-shirt nightgown thing on, and the covers pulled off of her, and her nightgown flew up. And I'm like, no freaking way, frozen. And I believe her because I know the kind of stuff that's happening, you know, like the presence and stuff you feel. And like it woke her up. So she was like pulling the covers and whatever broke, you know. But I'm like, no way. And I'm like, that's so freaky.
Oh
but
my God.
my other friend said she would see like snakes on the stairway. And she would freak out. And I'm like, wait, what? There's no snakes. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, no, I see snakes. And she would freak out. And she used to live with us. So she lived upstairs. And she had her friends over. And she said the phone book was back in the day with the phone books.
Yeah.
Was right there on the floor. And it was just flipping pages. And she went downstairs. She was like, yeah, no, like the phone book is literally flipping pages. And I'm like,
so something happened upstairs.
yeah, something had to have happened. That had to be the spot. Like, yeah, it probably goes around in the house, but that's the spot it happened in. And I'm guessing because that's my older sister's room. That was her room first. So maybe they played the Ouija board in there plenty of times. Or not telling what else happened, you know, or with Sally or what. But I do recall like the Sally thing, now that I said that, something about she suffocated her kid with a pillow, or she got suffocated with a pillow. I remember something like that, and I'm like, wait, what?
Oh my God, what?
So, I don't know what's true and what's not, because
you were young, you know.
Yeah, my sister would like to just like stories, little... so I never knew what to believe with her. But and then
hey, well, she was obviously seeing something everybody else wasn't. So
right, she was bringing whatever was in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, but and then what else was it that so that was two of my friends. Oh yeah, no, when I was younger, I think it was me and my sister.
In the same house?
Upstairs in the room. You know the sliding closets?
Yeah.
And I believe I was with her, but we heard banging, like loud banging, right?
Like on the doors of the closet?
Just a loud. We didn't know what it was because we were asleep, and it was just like loud banging. We woke up, and then we were like, "Oh my gosh!" And we saw like the closet door. I think we saw it at that time. If not, we ran downstairs, went and told my mom and stuff like that, and she was like, they went upstairs. No, there was a cat by the window, right? It was just a cat knocking on the window. I'm like, that was too loud. Like, why? Yeah. It woke us up out of our sleep.
So I've heard someone else tell me a similar story of like banging, but they said that the banging was coming from the space, not from any literal direction. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So was it kind of the same?
I don't know, because we were asleep and all I heard was like banging. But the thing is when my mom went upstairs and she said it was a cat, the closet door was off the hinge, off the rails, laying on the floor. So it was the closet doors banging together.
Oh my God.
And they didn't well, I think my mom was like knew what it was, but she was just like, no, it's just this, you know, try not to. So we went, just ignore it.
Probably because she was also sleepy and she was like, this is the,
you know, like that too. But she would never admit, no, with that, it's crazy. There's no ghost, you know. I'm like, oh yeah, there is.
Well, also, if you guys hear barking, it's our dog. I think we're gonna let her in because she gets like social anxiety. So
she's like, don't leave me out.
Yeah, don't leave me out. I just want to lay down over here. Hi, baby.
Hello, pretty.
Hi. Go over there. Go lay down. Go lay down over there. She's a good girl. But yeah, that's crazy. How many people were like in the sleepover?
That was just me and my sister sleep. I was sleeping in my sister's room, so I believe it was just me and her. And hearing that, and then we ran downstairs. And then to come upstairs right after it happened, the closet door is literally down, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, no, I remember that. And that was pretty scary. But let's see what else happened. Oh, I remember another time when I was I don't remember how old I was, but old enough to be home alone. But I had a friend that used to live with me, and then she's the one that said the phone books were flipping over. And she has other stories. I don't remember what all happened, but my mom went to go pick her up from work. I was there by myself, and I was asleep on the couch. But I can still hear something, and I hear some soft footsteps, and I can feel the presence of something coming close to me. Oh my God. And nobody was there, so I'm like, and my body's literally shaking, and I'm like, oh my God. And all I can do is just shake, and I didn't want to turn around, and I'm just shaking, like not intentionally, it's just like
so you could just feel the heavy presence.
Yes, and it was not a good presence, so you could tell. That's why I was shaking, because I was like, it's not a good presence. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And you could feel it and you could hear the footsteps. And I'm like, because it was dead silent. There was no TV, no nothing on. And then I could feel whatever it was push against the couch and lean over me like they're looking at me. And I'm like shaking even more. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
And so then at the right time, my mom pulled up, bringing my friend home. And as soon as they unlocked the door, whatever it was broke. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad y'all are here. Because I'm like, oh hell no, I don't want to stay by myself no more.
Oh my God,
so,
that's
yes,
crazy.
It was an ugly present. So it wasn't nothing good. And I'm like, yeah, that freaked me out. But I mean, that one freaked me out. But other little things like the TV, I'd be like, it's normal. It's okay.
Those got normal eventually.
But not the evil presence. Like, no, I felt something not good in there.
And so you said your sister would play the Ouija board all the time?
Yes. She loved the Ouija board. My mom would crack it. They said that she cracked it one time and there was wires in there. My mom said that, but I don't think there was no wires in there. Because I know where she was saying it was fake.
Yeah.
That it's not real. And then, she'd crack it and then she'd go get another one and still do it. So I believe whatever she brought to that house stayed in the house for,
That things do.
Yes.
Things do stay in the house.
Yes.
Yes. I've had several experiences like that. There is this one story my cousin told me. One of my cousins, I don't think she would ever would like to come in this podcast and repeat it because it was kind of traumatic, but she has told me this several times, and I think the reason why she wouldn't come back and repeat this story to us is because, now she's in a different path. She's very religious and stuff like that, so she doesn't really like to associate with this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But they dabbled with the Ouija board, and it got really bad. Like, that's the most I'm gonna say. Like, it got bad to the point where most of the people that played with it woke up with bruises.
Oh, like, you know what? Yes, that reminds me because I've played it thinking because I left home like at 15, and then at the time we were there like, oh yeah, someone had the beach board. I don't even know who had it, but we're like, yeah, let's play it. And we're like, it's not real, it's like that. And then we're asking questions, and it answers what we didn't know about that person. And I'm like, okay, I'm not playing no more.
Yeah.
And then the next day, my friend woke up with bruises and they had other marks, and I'm like, oh heck no, like get that thing out of the house. I'm not playing that no more.
Yeah.
So yes, I believe that. Like, that's scary stuff.
It gets pretty intimate, I think. I mean,
yeah, you're disturbing people that you don't need to disturb.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm gonna show you,
Yeah, I personally have never played a real Ouija board. Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, we made a paper one in like I want to say 6 or 8 kids. We were playing it with a quarter, and I mean, mind you, my theory is that somebody was moving it.
Right, that's what I always thought.
Somebody was moving it, but what was weird is that really strange things started to happen. Mm-hmm. We were playing it during class. Like, we were literally playing it during class. And so it was this literal paper that we kept using over and over. It was refolded and refolded and refolded. So one time, we were asking it, if you're real, please give us a sign.
Yes.
And then at that, like 2 seconds later, no joke, 2 seconds later, the teacher says, I'll be back in a second. Steps out and turns off the light.
Oh, shoot.
And we were literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
We were doing nothing. It was like a reading time or something. Like, we were just reading books. But we were literally doing nothing. And she knew we were. We were on the floor.
Yeah.
It was a classroom. We were on the floor moving this thing around, and she knew what we were doing. Like, she knew we were not reading.
She's like, okay, I'm going to turn the light off.
I will be back. Bye. Boom. But yeah, she turned the light off, and we were just there messing with it. And we were like, whoa, that was weird. And so we kept on asking it. And then, like random things started happening. Like most of us just started having bad luck. And I mean, this might have just been coincidence because it was during the gloomy season. Like it was like fall. It was like after October. It was like November time. So a lot of crows would stand outside the window. And this classroom had really big windows. So there was a bunch of crows outside the window. We thought that it was because we were playing the Ouija board, but at the time it felt real. Like,
right? Yes. And it's so weird that that stuff happens at the exact same time. And I'm
yeah, like
so is it a coincidence or is it really because I was doing this
we
stuff?
don't, you know, you might never know, but it felt real at the time.
Yeah.
A lot of it, I remember some of my friends who were like playing basketball and stuff. They would get psyched out and they were like, I don't know, I don't want to come to class. I don't, like, people were having actual breakdowns over this because we were asking personal things.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And some of these people, I honestly took it as like a game. I didn't take it that serious. I didn't ask a lot of questions. Some of the people that might know me and remember this a little bit better might correct me, but I don't remember asking it anything personal. But I do know that some people that were playing it at the time did ask really personal things and it answered them. And they were like,
whoa, it freaked them out.
yeah. So some people did get really freaked out. But I think after one point, one of the friends that were playing burned it and we never spoke about it again. It's like it never happened.
Yeah, they're like, no, let's not even bring it up.
Yeah.
Yes. After all that, yeah, I wouldn't want to talk about it either.
Yeah, it was weird. Oh, it's time for a refill.
Yeah, about
refill. Yes, and
bartender.
Again, yeah, and again, I just want to preface to everybody that I don't know if you do this, but I do this a lot. I laugh because I get nervous.
No,
because these things are scary.
Yeah,
like they are. But I'm really enjoying this conversation. That's crazy,
yes.
Evon. I've never, well, I mean, I say I never lived in a haunted house, but I did.
Yeah, you.
But
hearing other people's experiences and stuff is
it's
different.
crazy because I feel like my experiences weren't that crazy, but they kind of were. Oh, sorry. But they kind of were. Like it was. I guess, like you said, like when you're living through these things, you don't realize. But then once you tell someone, "Oh yeah, you know, my TV turns on and off by itself,"
tell it all normal, and it's not normal.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
No.
So share a story about yours.
Well, about my house. Well, I've said this one before in other podcasts, but I don't think I've told you. Like I've said before, my grandma was a white witch and a lot of things stayed at that house. So to this day, we still have a man that walks, or I say it's a man because the steps or the feet sound heavy, but it sounds like this.
Oh.
Like slippers just dragging through the hallway. But if you tell it to stop, it'll stop for like 5 minutes and then keep going. Like it's all night.
Wow, listens to his command.
Yeah, it's like no one cares in my house anymore. It's like, oh, the slipper man, or this, you know,
another Sally, a different name.
Yeah, and de las chanclas. Like we don't care anymore. But I guess one that was pretty crazy. Well, it was not that crazy, I don't think, because so. It was one night where there was a lot of people in there for like New Year's or Christmas. I don't remember what it was, but we were scattered around the house. My mom's house is, I want to say, as big as this one, kind of, but so we have a very big family. We're Mexican, so everybody. If you throw a party at your house, everybody that you invited to that party is gonna stay there to sleep.
Yeah.
So it was like 4 a.m. People were not going to sleep. And so all the kids were like passing out in the living room, you know, everybody else was still outside or whatever. The light in the living room was off, but I could still hear the party going on in the backyard. I was like, oh, that's weird. Why is the couch empty? Like there was a lot of real estate to pass out, you know, but just the couch was empty. And so I just thought it was weird. went to the restroom, went back to my room to go to sleep, because all my other cousins were also sleeping in my room. So in the morning when we got up, my aunt Marta said, "Oh no, we didn't sleep in the couch because there was someone sleeping there." And we were like, "No, there wasn't. There was no one on the couch. Like even in the morning when we woke up, there was no one on the couch." And she's like, "Yeah, at one point in the night, he was just sitting like, you know,
you didn't know who that was."
No, because it was dark. So she said like it was already dark, the lights were off, everything was off. So I didn't really pay attention. I just thought it was someone that might go to the restroom or something. She thought it was one of my other uncles. So we were like, no, there was no one there.
Oh,
like there was absolutely no one there, and no one slept on that couch
because several people probably saw there was somebody there.
No one slept there.
Wow. And that's crazy how they can make people could actually see somebody there.
Yeah. That's probably
how the spirit or the ghost could make themselves visible. Like, that's kind of freaky.
The ghost was probably partying too much at my mom's party. And I was like, this is my couch.
This is the place to be.
Yeah. But yeah, it was creepy because when I got up to the restroom, I didn't see anything. And I just thought it was weird. Like, okay, maybe they prefer the air mattress. Yeah. But there was someone sleeping on the left seat. Why not the 3-person couch? Like, what?
Yeah.
So that's one. Yeah. But I'm saving most of the stories for like a special episode where
something to look forward to.
Yeah, where someone can interview me maybe.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, our family is riddled with these type of stories. Like it's just nonstop. Like our childhoods were pretty unique. Yeah, I might say.
That'd be interesting to see later. So yeah, something to look forward to.
Yeah, and do you have anything like recent or?
No, thank goodness. But well, it's been like 2 years. So it's kind of
pretty recent.
That's kind of recent. But before that, like after I had my first child, and after I was away from that house, I think it's happened a couple of places, other places I lived. But I think I kind of mentioned it to you, like what is it called when you're sleeping and you feel like you can't move?
Oh, sleep paralysis.
Yes, but it's not sleep paralysis because you feel the whole presence and it's not a good presence again, and it's like something's holding you down and you're already awake and you can't talk and you're like, oh my gosh, like what,
that happened to my brother
again, like the couch incident. I'm sitting there shaking and I'm like, oh my gosh, and what happened so much, like, and my daughter was like, she was in diapers, so, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what is that, like something, whatever I've had before, it's followed me or something, or I don't know if it's in this house or what, but
oh my god,
thank goodness that hasn't happened anymore, because it would happen often and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's the scariest feeling, to feel trapped and you can't talk and something ugly is over you, you know what I mean, holding you down and stuff. But the other thing was, so that broke, all that stuff broke. But
well, I recently, I've never experienced it before, but this is, I guess, what I would think that is. I usually sleep with a face mask on because any little light will wake me up. Like I'm a very light sleeper. I can't. So I sleep with a face mask on and, whatever. I got used to it. But one time, I guess it was like either a Saturday or a Sunday because we were sleeping in late. And I just remember, I thought it was a dream, but it was also, I just felt it so much on my body and inside my body and going intertwined on my arms, but also grabbing my arms down.
Oh.
And it felt like it was in me, but on me. And I could not move. And just by like me thinking, okay, I have my face mask on, that's why I cannot actually see this, but I'm dreaming it, so I could probably get off of it. I don't know. My logic was
trying to
like,
wake myself up.
yeah, I was just trying to do anything. But when I finally woke up and I took my mask off, I was like,
right?
Yes.
That's how it is. And you try to speak
crazy.
or say something.
That has never happened to me until that time. And it feels horrible.
It does feel horrible. I remember I would be trying to say, like, Jesus, because everything would break at that point. And it wouldn't let you. And I'm like,
it's
God.
like
That's when you know it's ugly, something
It's like you forget everything. All the prayers, all the things.
Well, no, I remember, and I would be trying to say it, but it's like whatever had your voice, like it wouldn't let you talk. It wouldn't let you say nothing, and I knew I was awake, and I was like, no, I'm awake at this point. I know I'm not dreaming, and I'm trying to speak out, trying to say Jesus, trying to say anything, and it wouldn't let me. So I'm like, no.
Did you ever experience seeing anything while you were, I guess, paralyzed?
No. Like I couldn't even open my eyes to do that, but I was awake, so I couldn't even open my eyes. I mean, all I could do is like shake, and like my body was just naturally doing that, but I couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't speak. I couldn't nothing. Like I was like I couldn't even,
That's good,
but I don't think I've ever seen anything, as I can recall, anyways.
That's good, because my brother does get sleep paralysis, and he says that he sees shadow people, like just shadows walking around.
I couldn't imagine going around in life just being able to see shadows and like, wait, what did I see? Wait, what?
Yeah, no, it gets pretty weird.
I bet. Like that's kind of strange. I don't know how I would react to all that. But another thing was like the 2 years. What I said is that we moved into this house, a new house, and I couldn't sleep that night, and I was looking on Facebook, and I was like, and then I happened to come across like, it's because I was still looking for houses at the time, so I still had a group that was, sharing, houses for rent, stuff like that, and they were like, make sure you look at the, pull up the addresses so you can know what happened to the houses, because this is what happened to, my house, and blah, 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 and I'm like, wait, what? So I'm like, let me do that, and I'm like, wrong thing to do in the dark. And I'm just like, my kids are asleep, and I'm like, I'm in the dark.
What did you find out?
And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then so I'm reading this whole story of what happened in this house that I just moved in, and it so happened to be like there was a nurse, I believe she was a nurse, and a husband that lived in there with their son, and she was pregnant, and the husband, the whole story was like she put the security system in there. Her husband was calling her, and she's trying to set the alarm and push the emergency button or something, and he came through and he killed her inside the kitchen. And so it was a whole detailed story. I mean, a story. But so
did they say like, why or like?
So all I could get was like, so I looked her up on Facebook, and I was like reading stuff, and I believe like friends were saying like he was jealous and stuff like this happened, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm like in the dark, and I'm like, why did I do that at night? But
we've never looked up this house.
Yeah,
this house is from like 1969 or something.
Like, a lot of stuff probably happened in this house.
Well, we have cats, so we're fine.
Yeah. But at the time, like we had barely moved in, so I had our mattresses in the living room. I didn't want to take it upstairs.
Yeah, you just moved in.
So we were just laying in there, and I'm like in the kitchen and the living room were like just separated, like one room almost. And I'm like looking at the kitchen. I'm like, oh my gosh, like. And so living throughout there, like I was in the living room by myself, and no TV on. I'm just chilling. I'm like on my phone, and then all of a sudden I hear this like bang, like an aluminum bowl dropped or something that kitchen thing dropped, and I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like facing the kitchen, and I'm like, nothing dropped. I went in the laundry room, nothing's on the floor, and I'm like looking around, and I'm like, okay. So I called her name out, and I'm like, it's okay, like I can hear you, it's fine.
No, Evon.
I'm like, it's fine, God. It's fine. You don't have to, worry no more. Like you're wherever you need to be at, you know what I mean? And my kids would say like, yeah, I remember my ball rolling by itself.
Oh my God.
And they remember stuff. So it was like normal for us at this point. Like, my kids were like,
well, because you came from that other house. Deal. And
it was normal for me, but my kids, like, my kids aren't scared of nothing. My middle child, she likes stuff like that, but they're like, it's no big deal. But I would tell them like, Well, she was a mom, and she had a baby inside of her, so she's nothing bad. But the bad person, he ended up committing suicide somewhere else.
There.
So it's not over
Okay.
there. So I'm like, what happened in the house was, I mean, she was a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was harmless.
Did anything happen after you called her name, or did it calm down?
No,
or
it just
did
calmed down. It was
things-
just that thing, and that was it. And I was by myself, so I was like, it's okay. Like, you know, you're fine wherever you're at, you know, whatever. And then I'm just like, but I was like, okay, like you just decided to. But my thing was thinking like, okay, if it happened in the kitchen, she got murdered in the kitchen. The noise was in the kitchen. So what if it was just like the same thing that happened? It this replayed. She was coming from the garage, trying to shut the door. She knocked a aluminum bowl down or pot down, or
Oh my God.
and that's what happened. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I'm sitting there thinking like, when I found it out, like, did they clean it up? Do I need to go look and see if there's blood spots?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my
gosh, like, am I cooking in the kitchen? Where, like, you know, I'm having my food there and there's still like blood stains in it. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
you know, like that didn't come off or what happened.
Did
Like,
you check what year it happened?
yeah, I read this whole story and I was like, that is so sad. Like, you know, I think I reached out to one of her friends. I think it was her friend or her sister. I can't remember. I didn't get a response, but just to let her know that we lived there and, you know, sorry for whatever happened. And I don't know why. I just felt like I had to reach out, you know, just living in there and stuff like that. And then, but it was like sad because their
nice.
son was at the grandparents' house because she was having issues with him and he was violent towards her. He was very jealous of her, you know, of her and stuff like that. And she was going to separate from him. She was going to get a divorce from him. And he didn't like it. So that's how he ended it. But it was so sad because the little boys left without his mom and then without
At
his
least
dad.
he was in a safe place. She kind of
Yes.
figured something
She
was
knew,
coming.
yeah. And then, but the poor baby, like, you know, no brother, no mom, but the grandparents, you know what I mean?
That's so crazy.
So, but yeah, we heard stuff in the house plenty of times. And then we found some kind of bone. I have a video of it. I'm such a bad mom. I had a video of it asking my youngest one. And I'm like, I think I told her it was a human bone. And, Mom, seriously, that's a human bone? I forgot. And then she's so cute. She's so little. I'm like, yeah. And I'm just playing with her. And I was like, not really. It's not a human bone. And then I was like, she's like, oh, okay. And then, but I was like,
Jurassic Park.
I know. And I'm like, I don't know what kind of bone that is. And I posted on Facebook one time and somebody was like, oh my gosh, you need to have that get tested and like all dramatic and stuff. Like, and I'm like, I don't know really what it is. It could be an animal bone. Like, you know, animals die and pass away different places, but there was a lump in the backyard. And I'm like if somebody was buried, then I'm like, I never dug it up, but I'm like, I wonder, you know, and then the people would tell us that there was stories of the area that we lived in that people got buried. Plenty of people got buried. And I'm like, wait, what?
What kind of times were those?
And I'm like, when and where and why?
What?
But yeah, so I don't know.
That's crazy.
I think that's the last thing that I experienced of anything like that.
That's crazy. So when you found the bone, was it like just like outside or like wrapped in anything?
I can't
or?
even remember how we found it, if my kids found it or what, because they love to play in the backyard and dig stuff up, and play with rocks and all that stuff. But I can't remember how we found it. But I was like, okay, I was trying to like put it towards my body, like what kind of bone would it be if it's a human bone or if it's a dog bone. It looks a little too big for a dog bone, but it had to be a really big dog. So I
so it was
never
a
knew.
big bone.
But I did leave it because
What size was it?
the landlord that wanted us out of the house underneath us, I left it right there so the tenants could see, like, here's some bones.
This
like,
is what you're
you
getting
better look
into?
up this house.
This is my research.
Here
You go. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Damn.
so I don't know. I don't remember how we found it, but we kept it around for a while. And
What
no, I
size
didn't.
was it?
It was just a little. I mean, well, it was
okay.
small, but it was still like, what part did it go to? Like, I mean, maybe 4 or 5 inches, but I'm like, that's too big for a dog's paw or what, or, you know, but it could have been any kind of animal. I mean,
Yeah.
people have different animals.
Maybe a
in
cat.
Yeah, especially like kind of in the country, like where it's at is like people have different animals. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
also-
know, but
Also, there's a lot of like roadkill stuff and like
Yes.
dogs grab it and they play around or whatever. But that's crazy. I can't believe you heard something and you actually went like, hey girl.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew that had to be hers.
My God.
Like,
I would have just been like, nope, girl.
I'm just sitting there chilling in the couch and I'm like, oh, what? Where?
No.
Nothing? No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so. But I think that's the last thing that we've experienced.
And have your daughters ever told you something that happened there, or your son?
Oh, yeah, just like the ball rolling, and I'm sure there was other things, but I don't remember what they said about what happened. But like I said, it was a norm, so it's like, eh. And my kids would walk in the dark. They had no problem. It's like they didn't care. And I'm like, even today, like my kids will walk down the stairs in the dark, and I'm like, you're brave, because like I don't even want to walk in in the dark down the stairs. Like she doesn't with no problem. But
yeah, that's what I tell my husband. Like he doesn't like to be in the dark. He has to turn on the phone light, and I'm like, where's your night vision?
Yeah,
I can walk around in the dark. And I can see perfectly fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even without glasses. Like, I'm pretty blind without glasses, but I can walk in the dark and see well.
I could guide myself, but I can't see. Like, I'll be like, I know my house and areas, so I know where to go.
No, I can see.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's trauma from my childhood.
It could be.
Yeah. No, but so I have had experiences with, like, I don't know if to call them entities, because I don't think they were entities. So a little, I guess it was like during the holiday season that we went to your grandma's house. My husband, Steven, is our audio and video editor. Hey. But yeah, we went to his grandma's house when she still lived in her house. Now she's living with one of his aunts over in Victoria. But so we went to her house, and you know, everything very welcoming, very nice. She's really cool. She's a very strong grandma. And so we were there, and she was like, "Oh yeah, sit wherever you want or whatever." There was this chair by a window. It was like a recliner chair, and I saw it, and I immediately, as I walked through that door for that space, I was like, "That chair's taken."
What?
Like I just felt it, like that chair's taken. That's someone's chair.
Yeah.
And so I sat somewhere else. And then, you know, it was Christmas. After everything, his dad actually sat in that chair, and I'm like,
why are you sitting there?
Like, are you sure? Like, you shouldn't sit there. Like, in my head, you know, I didn't say anything, but you know, he was sitting there. And I guess after the holiday or whatever, we were coming, at that time we lived in the valley. We lived in, I think at the time we were living in McAllen, or Mission. I don't remember, but we were living over there in the valley. We were driving back, and I told him that recliner chair by the window, you know, I told him the same thing. Like, I feel like that was someone's chair. Like someone used to sit there. And he told me, yeah, that was my grandpa's chair. He used to get mad when people would sit there.
Oh, wow. And you noted that.
I don't know. It just felt like strong, like that's someone's chair. Don't sit there. That's someone's chair.
Yeah.
You know, and he did tell me, like, yeah, that was my.
Did
that
he
was
freak
my,
out when he told him, like?
I don't know. He just told me. Did you freak out when I told you?
You're like,
no.
Wait, what? You knew that?
Yeah.
You're fascinated by it, yeah.
Yeah, he used to call him Popo, but he just told me, yeah, that was his chair. You don't sit in his chair.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh.
So you kind of have a gift.
I don't know what to call it. I don't call it anything, but I do feel vibes very strongly. And that's why I sometimes, when I meet someone, I'm like, oh, no, your vibes are off.
Yeah. I am so the same way. Like,
you need to go get cleansed or something. Your vibes are off.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I do that with my daughter too. I'm like, yeah, I can read people real quick. Like, just the presence around me. I'm like, nope.
Yeah. And so, yeah, when I walked in there, I didn't think You know, it was a really quaint house. It was nice. It was very inviting. But as soon as I saw that chair there, I was like, nope, that's not for anyone.
And when I sat in there, you're like, wait, what? Why?
Yeah. And also, like, you know how I said earlier, like the man in the hallway at my mom's house, the slipper guy. When I was younger in high school, I would always tell it to shut up because I'm a very light sleeper to this day. Every sound, like we've lived in apartments, I could hear my upstairs neighbors get up in the middle of the night and go to the restroom. Like that's how much I can hear.
Oh wow.
Like it's crazy.
You have to put earplugs on.
I probably do. I don't know, but I could hear them get up. And so, or like if my cats move on top of me, or if my dogs move, or anything, or if he moves, I wake up. So the slipper man would walk, and I couldn't sleep because it would just not stop. And so I would get up in the middle of the night and be like, stop, just stop. And it would stop for a little while, I think enough for me to go to sleep. But then it would start again. So I never got a good night's sleep at that house. I don't think I get it now, but now at my mom's house, there's a big AC in the guest bedroom. So I don't even hear it anymore because the AC is so loud. Yeah.
It tunes it all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And do you have any more stories that you would like to share that you remember? Or maybe at work, you know how
no, that's
we
creepy.
stay pretty late.
No. Yeah. In 2 building. I swear I was by myself. There was nobody in there. And then I
Building 2?
Yes, and I was cleaning in there, or I was doing, I don't know what, I was working in there. And then I hear a woman's voice, and I'm like, so I stepped out of like the maintenance area. And I'm like, hello, who's here? And then nothing. And I'm like, I knew nobody was in there, so I'm like, wait, who's here with me? And I didn't hear it again, and there was nobody outside because there was only a few people. I think it's when I went early. And then I'm like, what the heck was that? And I'm like, I don't know. But I think it was one of the coworkers that used to work with us. I told him, I said, yeah, I don't like that one area because there was some lady in there with me while I was cleaning. But it was just real quick because I think I left after that. I went outside the building. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to go in another building.
Yeah, that's a pretty old area in San Antonio, too.
Yes.
Like, it's downtown San Antonio, pretty old area where we work at. So...
Yeah, and then when I was working in the one building, I took my daughter, so I'm like, I'm so glad you came with me because like, I don't know if I could work at night by myself in here, and it's kind of dark, and then it loops around, so you don't know what's all the darkness and stuff like that. Like, no, even if you have all the lights on, it's just kind of creepy by yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's a big building.
Old building, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's why I always ask, like, whenever it's my turn to close the office, I just like, doo, doo, doo.
Yeah, right. Like, hurry up.
Run out.
I know. I always picture like something's gonna come behind me, or like, like no.
Nope.
But I do have like, like when I guess for whatever reason that house that I grew up in is the dreams. Okay, always repeating the house of the same thing. Oh my God,
just like me.
Yes. The same thing. I used to have dreams like I would be kind of on the front door watching, or like we'd be in the living room, there would be family members there, but we have like, I didn't have windows in the back part of the area. There was like a patio door with the glasses.
Yeah.
The glass, but there was a wall there, but in the dreams, it's like people are watching and coming by and trying to get in, and I'm like, what the heck does that mean? And I would have it so many times, and I'm like, yeah. And then even today, I still have dreams, and it's always at that damn house. I'm like, I hate that house. Why do I have dreams at that house?
That's probably why. Same thing with me. Always on my Aunt Chella's house. And as I have this little joke at the channel, Family Lore, because I've only invited like my family previously. But yeah, at my Aunt Chella's house, like that house, I don't know if it's the house that has trauma or it has caused trauma to all of us. I don't know what it is, but all my nightmares, and I think I've said this before in another episode, but all of my nightmares, in my nightmare, it's there. Like the setting of the nightmare is there. And like I told you, it could start somewhere and then it goes there, or it starts there and ends somewhere else. It doesn't matter, but it always has something to do with that house.
Like you still have some kind of attachment to it. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
I
Yes.
even refill. I even had. Have you ever heard of the Hat Man?
No.
So a lot of people have had the dream of the Hat Man, and if you've had the Hat Man, if you've seen the Hat Man, or if you had a dream of the Hat Man, please let us know. I know that's sometimes very, very, very strong or scary for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you want to refill?
Just a little bit.
Yes. So a lot of people have dreamt with this entity or whatever. And it's just like a shadow and with a hat.
Mm.
And in my personal experience, it was in my aunt's house. Ooh, he topped you good. Careful.
Thank you.
He was there, and I don't want to say the whole dream, but it was really scary.
Mm-hmm.
It was really scary. It was very impactful to the point where I woke up sweating.
Oh.
I woke up sweating and hyperventilating. And I think I was in high school. So I had my own room and everything. But I woke up and I was sweating. I was hyperventilating. And I couldn't understand, like, what is the point of this?
Right.
You know? I mean, I just shook it off as a regular nightmare. But I cannot dismiss the fact that all of these nightmares happen at the same location in my brain.
Right. I wonder the same thing, and sometimes it's not even nightmares. It's just like that's the place where it's at, and I'm like, why? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
What is the significance of the location?
I'll go burn that place down. Like, no, why? I don't understand why.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
Out of all the places I've lived or moved, and it's just that house. I'm like, I don't understand why. Good or nightmares, you know?
Yeah. And I guess some places just have that pull on you because, like, my aunt, Goncha's house, this is another aunt. I don't know what happens in her house, but if y'all have seen the previous episodes, my cousin Eddie and my cousin Diego have, said this too. Like, they just get really sleepy. Mm-hmm. Really, really sleepy. And for some reason, they don't go sleep at any other room. They go to sleep at my aunt's room. Mm-hmm. And there, I have never slept so deep as I have in that house.
And you're a light sleeper, but you slept deep in one.
I'm super light sleeper. And that house, it wraps you up in a cocoon and you just sleep.
Oh, wow.
It's so weird. And it has happened to me where I'm laying on my aunt's bed and the closet is slightly open and it's so dark that you feel like it's staring at you. Mm-hmm. But you're so sleepy, you can't do anything about it.
That's so strange. Oh.
You can't. You're so sleepy, you can't do anything about it.
I just want to go over there just to take a good nap.
Hell yeah, that will reset you right up.
Nap.
Stare at me all you want, closet. I don't care.
Relax.
Yeah, I think I have to go there too, just to reset.
Right?
No, but seriously, if I go there, you just out.
That's so strange. And it happens to more than one person, so it's even more strange.
Yep, it happens to more than one people. At one point, and this is kind of funny, because like I told you, my family throws parties. So we would throw parties at her house. You would find like 3 or 4 adults passed out on her bed because she has a king size bed. Uh-huh. So you would see like 3 or 4 adults passed out on her bed. Mm-mm. Just passed out.
Yeah.
Not even drunk or any, just passed out because tired.
Oh, wow. And you never found out, like,
to this day it happens.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
See, like that's awesome to like try to track back the history of it, like the house, like looking it up.
Well, those subdivisions were new. So she bought the house new.
What about if it's on the land of an old
We don't know. I mean,
cemetery,
Laredo's
or
a
you never
pretty
know.
old city, so we don't know what happened in those areas. But she did buy her house new. But you know what? You might be right, because so the subdivision that they have is like it's like a running street and then cul-de-sac and cul-de-sac. So the street goes through the middle, right? And then it's like a cul-de-sac of little houses. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then street, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So it's like this. So my aunt lived in this corner, and then my cousin lived over here, and then my other cousin lived over here.
Oh wow.
So they all live pretty close. So when we threw parties, it was even better, because if you had somewhere to sleep, you just go
right
to
there,
whoever's houses. So in both of my other cousins' houses, there was paranormal activity.
Oh wow.
So you might be right. It might have been the land.
Yeah.
But also, my grandma used to cleanse people in all their houses.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you know,
So either
it was like land, grandma. Yes.
Both put together. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't know if it was grandma or if it was the land, but something was doing something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so my question is like, when are we gonna go to somewhere paranormal and
Hey,
check it out and put it on?
put it in the comments. We'll stay overnight at the Menger
Yes.
Hotel.
Even if we have to take a road trip, that'd be cool.
Ooh,
And my 15-year-old, she's all down for that.
you know what we can do? Local. We can go to the railroads with the
Yes.
little kids. The
I heard
hands.
about that. I've never been, but I've heard about that.
I've been twice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's true, because when you put up the talk, you know how it has the little holes, and you could like, it like smears like that. But something weird did happen.
Uh-oh, what?
So we, sorry, I'm laughing. I'm not, it is funny, but I'm also laughing because it was funny. So we were with some of my cousins that live here in San Antonio, and my cousin's wife's mom, she had a little thing to help her walk, because I believe she had just had surgery on her knee or something like that. So we were at the railroads, because I think it was like October, November time. So we were at the railroads, and we get off on the car. You know, there's a line of cars waiting to do the railroad thing, but they were really nice. They let us stay there for a little bit. Nothing was happening on the car. We saw some things, you know, but it was mostly just a talk, you know, doing the residue thing. But then she gets out, and she's like, "Put some talc on me," and she gets on her little thing. And okay, that street is straight. She gets right on the tracks, and she starts moving on her own. Nobody was touching her.
Oh,
No one was touching her, and she starts moving on her own.
oh my gosh, what did she do?
Over the lines of the metal things of the railroads.
Just like she was part of the train tracks.
No. Like, you know how the train tracks are like this, but the street is like this? She was moving over them.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, agarrenme. Like, grab me. Because she was moving. Because
that's what she wanted to check it out.
and we asked her, like, did you feel any pressure or anything? She said, no, I didn't feel any pressure, but I was moving.
Yeah.
I was moving fast.
Oh, wow.
And so one of the little kids went and grabbed her, because we were like, what is going on? Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. So maybe we can ask the city to see if they let us maybe reserve a little spot before that, and we can record and with that behind us.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Maybe for a Halloween special, we can have a lot of our first guests back, and so they could tell us their other scary stories. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I would be down for that.
Yeah, me too.
I do want to stay at the Menger Hotel and at the Emily Morgan downtown, because I heard they're super haunted.
I know my cousin stayed at one. I guess that one, but she didn't say that anything happened. My daughter wants to stay at it. So we haven't done it yet, but she was like, yeah, so when I go over there. Mom.
Which one? The Emily Morgan? I heard that's the most popular one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fancy too. Well, I don't know if it's fancy, but it's historical.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, I do want to do that. I want to go back to Goliad, to the missions, because Steven's family actually has a little lot behind the missions.
Oh, yeah.
And last time that we had his family reunion, we actually went ghost hunting.
Oh, really?
In the missions, yes.
Oh, wow.
It was cool because I downloaded an app on my phone, but nothing really happened. We were just scaring each other. Did something happen that you remember? I don't know. We were just drunk.
Like we were drunk. We don't know.
Yeah, no. People were taking shots. People were, they were not all there. We were the spirits. They were, yeah. No, but it was really fun. I think we should go back at least just to do an episode to see if we catch anything.
That would be fun. My daughter wants to go, but I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be the only adult.
No, yeah.
I'm a chicken shit.
Yeah, it gets scary after a while. Like, it gets pretty dark. Like, some people still go to, like, do little tours or, like, just to park there and take pictures. Mm-hmm. But we were just there being rowdy.
Yeah.
Because people do live around that missions. There in Goliad, you can still see houses. People actually live right next door to the mission.
Believe it or not, I've never been there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, I mean, because they have a lot there and we can go there and do stuff. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun. I met his cousins and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty fun. But we did do a little ghost hunting. Actually, we did get some responses, no? Yeah, because we had that like the, what is it called? No. Phone application. No. It was that EMT radio or whatever. I don't remember.
He's like the phone app.
Yeah, so it's like this static application that just shoots out like different static channels, but super fast. Mm-hmm. So I would say like, is anybody here? And it would just like, hello? Or like, it would just shoot out words, right? And it did respond
so
several
it's like
times.
the ones on the shows, like you can hear stuff.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. It was really cool.
That'd be interesting. I'd like to go to like a state hospital or a prison, an old
There's
prison.
one in Zapata.
Is there?
Yeah. When you drive through, because we used to drive all the time to Laredo from McAllen. Mm-hmm. I don't remember. It's Zapata, no? It's through Zapata. You drive there. It's the hospital that's abandoned, and then there's the stripes. But yeah, it's abandoned, and it
I wonder if
looks
they let
pretty
people go in.
I'm sure a lot of people go in.
And there's places that they actually give tours. Like, I don't even remember the movie.
Well, you know that the Chainsaw Massacre house is always open every Halloween.
That would be so cool to go to.
Yeah. Well, if you subscribe and support the channel, maybe one day we can afford the Chainsaw Massacre house for all of our subscribers.
Subscribe.
We could do a live show and you could sit in the audience while people tell us scary stories.
Yes. That would be awesome.
Yeah. What is our time? Nice.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we've been doing good. But yeah, I think that's time, no? Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming over. I was really excited to do this, honestly. It was really, really excited. That's how excited we are. That's how excited we are. No, I was really excited for you to come over. I really wanted to have someone outside of my family tell me their experiences, because this happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not documented. And I think that this is a really cool project, and I want to invite so many more people.
Yeah.
So if you know anybody that has experiences, bring them on. If you would like to ever become part of this experience, please send me a DM through any of the social medias that will be linked below. Make sure that you follow us on every social media. And if we ever would like to invite you onto this channel, hopefully we can make that possible. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. This was awesome.
And I had to come looking like this after I got
a
sweaty day at work. But hey, I made it.
Yeah, thank you so much for making it. This was so much fun.
Thank you
honestly,
for inviting me. It was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I've never heard like stories outside of my own family, except for like, you know, other YouTube channels that we hear of. But I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Yay! But thank you guys so much for joining us. This was Fear and Spirits, and please do all of those YouTube things. And if you're hearing us on any other podcast platform, please give us a like, give us a share it with your friends so that we can keep making this content for you guys. But yeah, thank you all for watching.
And cheers.
See you next time. Cheers!
Yeah.